changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more, no more complaining. People, their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more, no more.
Today I want to talk about what I call complaining indicators. Wow. Man, this is going to be, I already can tell in the energy in my body as I start to talk about this. This is going to be a bit of a challenge because it means reliving something that was, I would say, even traumatic yesterday. And don't think anything super big, because when I tell you, you're not going to think traumatic. However, it impacted me greatly, and such that I really don't want to talk about it. As you know, I live in a complex of 85 apartments right here on the bay in Key Largo. And I'm one of only 7 people who live here full time. Everybody else is rotating traffic. It's tourists. And I kind of like the energy of, different people coming in and everything like that. And there's enough people here that I really do know. And yesterday I decided I was going to sit down and work by the pool, or read by the pool is what I did most of the day, and journal by the pool. So I went down there and I sat down, and you've heard me use this term before, pool manatee. Now, you know what a manatee is, right? Manatee is a sea cow. They're all over down here. I thought, wouldn't it be cool if if I saw a sea cow when I moved down here? I have seen probably 30, 40 manatee in the year and 3 months I've lived here. So they're everywhere. Now, what they do is they go down and they munch on some grass, just like a real cow, just like a cow. And then when they need to breathe, they come up and they go, and they blow out their air and they go, and then they go back under and they're down for about 3 to 5 minutes. Now, I call these people pool manatee because they just kind of float in the pool. They look like a manatee because manatee don't really move around. They just float. And yesterday, I overheard a group of people talking about, and if these are neighbors who I actually know, I apologize. You'll notice I'll go out of the way to be discreet in talking about this. I overheard people complaining about, and I couldn't even believe I heard this term, kids these days. And I thought, my gosh, I thought that term stopped in the 60s or 70s or whatever. And it was a complaining indicator. In other words, these people were complaining. They were complaining, and I'll explain to you why. And then I want to tell you about the thing that really I found kind of upsetting. And that was, there was some complaining going on, but more importantly, there was some young people playing some music, and they were being respectful. They weren't playing it too loud. It was still enough, though, that for me, I was having trouble reading and writing. So I went up on what's called the pool deck, which is above the pool. And there was this group of women up there, and I knew they were from the New York area based on their accents, and they were all smoking. And which is, again, none of this is any of my business. And even what I'm about to tell you is any of my business. And I can say this because I feel pretty damn certain none of these women ever watched one of my Jumpstarts, because one woman was talking to, it became very obvious, her adult daughter on a speaker, while what appeared to obviously, I would say appeared to obviously be her mother, her own mother. So this was talking to the granddaughter and the aunt, or the sister of the woman who was talking to her daughter. And the woman was just verbally abusing, is the only word I can use, and emotionally manipulating her daughter and cursing at her daughter, using language that teenage boys would use to insult one another. And the daughter was giving it back. Wow. When I first went up there, my heart is doing this, just having overheard this and all of the weird dynamics of this relationship, that this mother would be so abusive and share it with her own sister and her mother. And obvious, this is just, and it occurred to me, she just doesn't even realize it. She does not even realize it. And that's the thing. Whether we're just complaining about kids these days, or whether we are being full on negative, critical, nasty, and abusive, people who are doing it, and this is hard to accept because we don't want to let people off the hook. We want to let ourselves off the hook, but we don't want to let other people off the hook. You see, because we have reasons. They have excuses. Take that in for a second. We have reasons. I have reasons. They just have excuses. Understanding that people are blind to their behavior can make us a lot more compassionate, especially for our own, because it'll make us also aware that we have behaviors we don't realize. So I wanted to share with you today just what I call complaining indicators. These are usually conversation starters that people use to jumpstart the conversation. And I would say in a negative way, but their intention is not to start it in a negative way or to even take it in a negative way. Their intention is to connect. We are desperate to connect. In our minds, we don't exist without one another. It's so complex, and I'm reading this or listening to this Buddhist meditation, and it talks about how we just so are connected with other people, and we are desperate to connect with other people such that we will say anything, and especially if it's habitual. And that's what I was trying to say about that family of women yesterday. That's family history. That is habitual. That is habitual. None of them even realize they're doing it. So I want you to notice how often you say, or people in your life say the following things. Can you believe it? I know a woman who loves to start conversations with me with, can you believe it? And it's always followed with something really, really negative. Now, really what she's saying is, can you talk to me? Can you please talk to me? But I can't think of a healthy way to say it. So what you're going to notice is, remember, people complain for 5 reasons. And we're going to be closing up here in just a second, few minutes. So stay with me. Get attention, gripe, G-R-I-P-E. Get attention, remove responsibility, inspire envy, power, and excuse poor performance. All of these will fall onto this. Can you believe it? Get attention. Notice me. Talk to me. Have you heard? I hear that one around the pool all the time. Have you heard that when you go and get a COVID test, if you don't come back for the results, they count you as positive? I was hearing that being repeated around the pool. Have you heard? Again, it's get attention. It's get attention. Just talk to me. This one's tied up in a lot more else. We don't have time to completely unpack it, but you'll see what I mean. Here they go again. Now, this one also falls under notice me, but this is actually inspire envy. This is the I in gripe. Here they go again. People complain about their community. They complain about the homeowners association. They complain about anything in society that other people are in charge of as a way of saying, if only I was in charge, everything would be great. I got it all figured out. These idiots just can't do it. Now, mind you, a person with this attitude will never do a darned thing. They want to sit on the outside and criticize other people because they know inside they couldn't do any better. They're just complaining to inspire envy. Here's another one. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? Now, every day, from about 10:45 to about almost noon, they leaf blow here. And then next door, they leaf blow from about 1 to 2:30. So you're talking about 3 hours of leaf blowing. And yet people every day go, wouldn't you know it? That would be like going, wouldn't you know the sun is going to shine? And the twin sister of that is, of course. Of course. Of course. That's that victim idea. The other thing that I noticed this around the pool yesterday, was people going, not only that, but I heard, which is notice me. I've got secret and advanced information in addition to what you already have. So I want you to watch out. Write these down if you haven't. They're in the description. They'll also be in the daily Jumpstart email. Can you believe it? Have you heard? Here they go again. Wouldn't you know it? Of course. Not only that, but I heard. And those are just some. See if you notice any others. And by the way, if you can think of any others right now, share them with me. And since I said share, it's time to click share. Who's going to be the first one to share? Share is not just Sonny's wife from the 60s, not just a headliner in Hollywood, not Hollywood, Las Vegas. And not only one of the most, I totally lost what I was going to say. Linda got it. Nope, I was going to say imitated person by drag queens. Thank you very much. And that is, I know that for a fact because I used to work in my brother's gay bar and watch the drag queen shows. It was an interesting thing. This is perfect. Gave up complaining for Lent. Good. You know what Lent stands for, right? Thank you, Ed. Let's go through this. Ashley says, needed to hear this. Meemaw says, share. Thanks, Meemaw. Awesome possum. Thanks. So perfect. Giving up complaining for Lent. Great. Remember to get the bracelet. No one can go cold turkey on complaining. I've never found anyone who could, because it's one of those insidious things we don't even know we're doing. So get a bracelet, do something like that. Go back and watch some of my videos to keep yourself inspired. I know you can do this, Willow. Here's our buddy Jerome. Shared the joy and the knowledge, says Kathy Cruz. Thank you so much. Willow says shared. Thank you all for being with me today. Let me see what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Oh, no, that's something else. I'm creating this new video, and I'm super excited about it. It's called Complaint-Free Commitment, and it's only going to be available in this program that I'm doing. Thank you, Daylene. That's awesome. And I have been doing research on commitment and why we struggle with commitment and my own commitments. And it's one of those things that I love what I get to do, because then I get to sit down and do all this self-analysis. And I know that sounds like horrible to most people, but I dig it. And thanks everybody for letting me share with you and jumpstart your day in a positive way. Oh, I know what tomorrow's going to be about. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you what Florida's anaconda infestation and its gypsy chicken infestation. Do you know we have infestations of both anaconda and gypsy chickens here? What do they have in common? And more importantly, how is it applicable to making our lives healthier and happier? I'll share that with you tomorrow. Enjoy today. Bye-bye.
No more complaining. People, their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free world. No more complaining. People, their lives are changing. We're flying high, creating a complaint-free